I wish you good health. I wish
the conclusion of the Cossack.
Once again, we are visiting Sid's unit. These are our drones from the Rifle Battalion of the 93 Arrow Brigade Kolodny Yar. And with us is Pilot Kapilan, who will be telling us about some very interesting drones today. The thing is, as you all know, it's already very hard to buy a Mavic 3 Pro anywhere. It's practically unavailable. Also, it is not supplied to the armed forces of Ukraine because China has also banned its import there. So we were supplied with a lot of drones, specifically the Matrice 4. And in this video, Kapilan explained to us what the difference is between the Matrice 4T and the Mavic 4T. Where are the pros, where are the cons? And I think this will be interesting not only for the military but also for civilians. So let's go.
Thank you for watching. I wish you knew places once again. Look, in our review there will be two types of drones. Well, the old drone, the wedding drone, that's the Mavic 4, or rather the Mavic 3T and the Matrix 4. See? The difference is huge. This one is smaller, this one is a bit bigger, this one is lighter, this one is a bit heavier. Accordingly, a smaller drone means a smaller controller. If you fly with this controller, the image is small, so we connected it to a television, and then we could see more. It was more convenient for us to spot enemies, equipment, and everything else. Everything crawls and flies, but the drone screen is nearly twice as large, with better quality and a clearer picture, making it easier to spot the enemy, though it's a bit bigger. Well, as you can see for yourself. Basically, the old drone is also a good drone, no questions about that. We've already checked it out. It's reliable, it flies a long distance, and we've already come up with a battery for it on top, its own native one. Then we put in more powerful 5C batteries. It flies far. Here, it flies far, it's a bit lighter, and it's a bit faster than the new drone. The first advantage I noticed when I held this drone is the tall legs. Usually all of our legs have antennas inside. The antenna that connects between the antenna and the drone. So if we fly a night drone, I fly the Matrice, the fourth night drone. I can go wherever the Mavic can go because its antennas are bigger, and no matter which way it turns towards our antennas, it will always have a good connection. The only downside is that it's big, it's heavy, well, heavier than this drone, heavier than the Mavic. Our guys also came up with the EpiVishnu 4S battery. It's a bit smaller, and they are placed on the sides. Now there will be some innovations. We will keep improving so that the drone can fly as long as possible. That's it. Any other advantages? Yes, it's a night drone. That's the difference. It shows the image at night. Well, almost perfectly. So if I was using the night mode on the Mavic 3 or 4, I had to fly lower to see what was there. Whether it was a dog, a cat, a rat, a mouse, or a frog. But with this one, I can hover at 200 meters and still tell what's moving. The zoom is good, the quality is good, and it holds itself in the air, just like the third and fourth drones. Yeah, basically it behaves a bit more stable because it has more of these cameras, and these cameras are better. We also cover the night cameras on the night drone because it reflects the beam to the ground, and with the help of the fourth hotel you can find its location. For example, you can find it in the air at night and track it to see where it lands or where our comrades are. That's why we cover it. I also call it an iPhone. Why an iPhone? Because it has 6 cameras. It's just 6 cameras, and at night we don't need the bottom 2 cameras because they emit beams, and that gives away the location of our drone, so we end up exposing ourselves. Well, that's why we cover them up, but if you need to film a wedding at night somewhere, then this would be a really good thing. Well, right now we're at war, and we're using them for the war. There's also a fourth one, the 4Es and 4Ts. What's better about them, about the Mavic Pro, the Enterprise 3, is that they behave more stably. So when we hover, its VAS almost never drops out. It drops out if there's a sudden movement to the right at high zoom or suddenly to the left, then it loses VAS, and even when it loses VAS, it still behaves much better than the Mavic. Yes, it's heavy and less agile, but it has 112 zoom. Once, a brother in arms, we're at the neighboring position, brother in arms. He says, "Okay, what were you on? What did you use to escape?" He says, "I escaped on a Matrice." He says, "See that house?" He says, "I see it." "And in the house, do you see the window?" "I see it." "Well, take a look and see what's going on there." He says, and he was at a distance of about 3, maybe 4 kilometers. In short, he could see through the window how much water was in the bottle that was standing on the table. That is, drones have a good zoom, and finding the enemy at a long distance is not a problem for them. You fly higher and use a larger zoom. So I had situations like this when I flew out, let's say in the evening. I usually fly out in the evening. I report to the duty officer, I see enemy artillery moving out or something else. I zoomed in and they checked. They said, "Wow, it's 40 kilometers away. Our maps can't reach it." This drone is visible from 40 kilometers away. Yes, maybe just small silhouettes where the flashes are. So because it has zoom, if it has zoom and it can see the ground well beneath it, then the battery drains faster. So I think that our skilled guys will do everything to make it stay in the air longer. But just like on the Mavic, there are different types of props. For the night drone, there are props with gray tips. They seem noisy, but with them, the night drone works a bit more stable. If you just understand that I use different props, then it behaved a bit differently, looks a bit more stable. For these, there are matrices. Well, so far I've only seen 2 types of props. It seems like they're not different at all. Props are just props. That's it. Well, what's the difference? Here are 2. They seem to be the same. 2 types of props. These are wider. Accordingly, these here are taller. The drone is on these props. On these props, the drone behaves more stably. It's slower. Well, it's so sharp. On these props, it's faster, more maneuverable, and it moves a bit faster than on these props. So during the day we use, well, that's what I think. During the day we use a wide prop because during the day we have, sometimes we need to zoom in more, and at night we have to move faster. Faster because sometimes we need to fly up quickly. Why am I saying this? We need to fly up quickly and take a look because God willing something might happen there. So I use these props during the day since the drone is faster and more agile. Was it hard for him to learn? Not really. The only thing that was hard was the remote, because there are so many different programs. There's also recognition of people, vehicles, whether a person is civilian or military, and whether a vehicle is civilian or military. There is a long-range mode. Well, if you use all the functions that this drone has, then accordingly the battery will drain faster. But as pilots, we need to have a gut feeling. Like if there's interference there, it means something interesting is happening there. So I'm drawn there, I understand that I might lose the drone, but if they've turned on interference there, it means something must be happening, right? So that's exactly where we need to look. Something must be happening there. Well, usually every pilot has their own instincts, their own feeling, and how to search for the enemy and not miss them. But drone, basically the drone is pretty good. Although people who have been working with us a bit longer, well, those who have been working since 2022 prefer the Mavic. It's nearly gone now, barely produced anymore since people are used to it. Adapting to something new, well, I don't know. I like this type of drone. When we got these drones and our unit is correctional, they'll be the first to fly. Get ready, I'll fly. They gave me an expiration date of 3 days saying I'd lose my first drone. I flew it. It's already been a month. Kamin hasn't lost any yet. This roof remains. He hasn't lost a single one like this yet. There are some advantages. Look, here's an advantage during the day. Sometimes the battery appears there, indicating it's bad. So his remote looks like the Enterprise. The menu features the entire Enterprise. It shows the distance from the remote to the drone. Wind speed, wind direction. There is no such thing in the Pro models. What other advantages have we noticed? If, for example, God forbid, you lose this drone. Let's say it's about 500 meters away from your position. You return. You disconnect the controller from the antenna. There's a scale there that shows which direction your drone is in. It doesn't show the distance, at least it shows the direction, which direction you need to move in. If you made a screen recording, you have a screen recording, you can see where your drone fell, because it shows the distance from the controller to the drone. So for example, if you lost your drone, let's say it's about 995 meters. You know that from your starting point to the farthest point where your drone is, that's the distance. We know the distance, we know the direction, we know where to look for it, at least we know where to look for it. If some group goes out or if some of our comrades are sitting nearby, they can pick it up. Like our pilots usually do when they've lost it. Go look for it, go get your drone. That's not in such requirements. We don't know where it fell. The only thing we can do is track its geolocation. I recently lost my drone. 3. Maybe 3rd. The only thing I managed to do quickly was to turn on his location and see where he was. Not a sound. No direction. I don't know anything. I memorized where he was lying and now I need to take that position in the future. So I think I'll find him, even though we searched and couldn't. I still have hope that I'll find him, bring him back, and that he'll still be very useful to us. And so basically everyone... How did you learn here? Not really. While flying, just click. If you don't know something, just keep clicking. That's how you begin to learn something new for yourself. Then share it with your comrades. Maybe others will find new functions themselves. Because we don't have a situation where we get a drone and an instructor comes to us. He called us over and said, yeah, this is a new drone. It has these advantages and these disadvantages. And we study it ourselves. We study it ourselves, improve it in some ways, and look over some things. We try. If you don't, nothing works out. We try to make it. That's it. We also show it on the big television. You can hold this remote in your hand and fly. It's so small. You can't hold this one long. It's a bit heavy. And the joysticks accordingly are a bit stiffer. Sometimes we fly to the position with matrices during the day and with Mavics at night, if available. Here, you get used to everything being big and bulky. That's how you fly. I sat on this one. Boom, and it suddenly shot forward. Here it's easier, the controls are lighter. Here it's a bit harder. So, we don't need to fear when something new comes our way. Some new types of drones. Our inventors will make something out of it. The best thing though, there's room for improvement. We hope to fly on our inventions for a long time so we can develop auxiliary devices to extend battery life. Recently at the training ground we used some kind of device. Our guys, the inventors, put it together. So I was hovering on this drone, 44 minutes. Actually, I was flying. Clearly, I was flying where there was no wind. Still, 44 minutes is a long time. Obviously, the thing is, we're going to fly somewhere to a position, somewhere where the wind is blowing us to the side. And we need to calculate the distance there, get the footage, and bring the drone back. All of this needs to be taken into account. But without practical experiments, we won't achieve great results. So, another drawback, let's say, is that if you catch a Mavic, an individual one, and you put your fingers in, it'll burn your skin a bit. I think it could even burn down to the bone, so be careful. If something isn't working right for you, wear protective gloves. There aren't any like that. Buy some, and the armed forces will give you more. That's what they told me. Like what I know myself, I tell others. Maybe someone else knows more, they tell me. And in this way we share our experience so that in the future we lose fewer of them. Because losses can be different. Right now we have a lot of fiber optic cable. Let's say it's Piderska, maybe even ours. Very often drones get tangled in the fiber optic cables. It seems like you're not really doing anything. You tried to fly somewhere, but got caught in the fiber optic cable and fell. Well, things like that happen. The oars knocked them out. Although it has 3 frequencies. If 2, 4, 5, and 8 are here, then 5.0 or maybe 5.2 is here too. If 2 frequencies are jammed, I still have a third to switch to quickly. Why can't the Mavics or these do that? Because it has 3 frequencies, better antennas, and a better ability to receive and send signals. Well, for me, this drone is pretty good so far.
So from what you've told me, I also like this one more. There's more here. All sorts of little pouches. Useful ones. That's one thing about the zoom. You mentioned 3 frequencies. Is it automatic? Yes.
So,
when the hum suppresses, it automatically switches to
other frequencies. When I fly on my remote in the lower right corner, there's a little triangle and some English letters. I'm not very good with English. It shows me yellow, meaning some hum is active. Now look, red. It shows red, but I have satellites and a white antenna. Some hum is active, but it doesn't affect me. So I already know that the hum is active. For those flying a Mavic, I'm telling you guys, be careful because there's a hum active in this area. Don't fly in so you don't lose your drone. I'm telling you, but I don't care. I'll fly.
You know that within a 100-meter radius, there's definitely someone sitting there, yeah.
But if they're already jamming me, then they're not jamming me, but jamming this drone, this type of drone, so it's better not to fly there anymore because there's a chance of losing it. I wouldn't want that.
All right, well, thank you for such an interesting story. I think everyone found it interesting. Write in the comments if you need videos like this, where we talk about new drones when they appear and then have our chaplain tell us everything about them.
If they end up in my hands, at least I'll know a little bit about them more than...
Yes, because they say the Americans will send something and there will be more as well. So I think the topic of drones is just beginning. There will be a lot of different types of them on our front. Well, we continue to defend our country and we will definitely win because we are invincible. Glory to Ukraine, glory to the armed forces and Putin.
Scumbag.